What the hell is happening to Ryan Garcia? So the past couple of weeks of following Ryan Garcia on social media has been a very interesting experience, to say the least. His Instagram in particular has turned into some sort of spam account as he continues to post nonsense. Some of my favorite nonsense includes a rap song that he has since deleted, though I made sure to record it because I knew he was going to remove it right after.
I'm bliss, highly favored. I'm bliss, highly favored. I'm bliss, highly favored.
He has also made a strange, out of nowhere call out of Jake Paul where it seemed like he was actually considering a boxing match with the influencer, and on Twitter says he regrets bringing in Jake Paul to the boxing scene.
I can't do this shit. I feel so fucking bad for introducing Jake Paul to boxing. I fucked up.
He also made this strange post of his new quote-unquote girlfriend, claiming that he would train her to fight anyone in a Misfits boxing event, also since deleted. And speaking of girlfriends, he posted what I would assume to be a Snapchat video of him and his ex-girlfriend, claiming he still loved her. Ryan also posted this really disturbing video, which I don't know what to make of it. I think he's posting from Devin Haney's perspective, or maybe Devin Haney's team's perspective, saying that this was the death of Ryan Garcia. Additionally, the caption to the video is just gibberish, and again, I have no idea what's going on here. So the question is, how the hell did we get here? What has caused this erratic, disturbing behavior from Ryan Garcia? Mark Fighting did a great timeline video on the major events leading up to this behavior that I'll reference, and I'll definitely go over what has been happening recently, but mostly in this video, I want to talk about why Ryan Garcia has switched up his behavior and what has caused this abrupt 180 turnaround in terms of his personality. But before we begin, a word from my friends from DraftKings. Today we've partnered with DraftKings from Sportsbook with opportunities to build exciting parlays and get in on the action with free-to-play pools. DraftKings has you covered. Download the DraftKings app now. That's promo code TJLovesFights only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. You may have thought this behavior started with his first loss to Gervonta Davis, and the once undefeated star lost his mind because of one bad loss, similar to Anthony Joshua and his fights with Usyk. But Ryan actually took this loss pretty well and was humble in defeat initially. Ironically, it wasn't until after his win against Oscar Duarte recently that things started to take a weird turn. About a month after his Duarte fight, we would see Ryan's demeanor first change on the PBD or Patrick Bet David show, where he was noticeably puffier and his voice was deeper and raspier than usual.
Saul did give me advice and says don't do it. I'm like him. I'm loyal.
It may be speculative, but these are definitely signs of partying and possibly substance abuse, especially when it comes to alcohol. Soon after, the Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia fight would be announced for April, and the promotion leading up to the fight, especially on Ryan's side, would be very, very weird, but also entertaining to say the least. Firstly, we'd get this weird quote-unquote brawl, if you can even call it that. It was mostly a bunch of yapping and the classic "you want to go right now, I'm right here," with no one actually throwing anything. Ryan did actually shove Devin Haney at one point, but that just led to more barking and no biting. Then we get a little weird sidetrack. In the middle of promoting his fight with Devin Haney, Ryan would call out Sean O'Malley on social media for God knows what reason. He tagged Dana to try to make the fight and claims that he's not worried about Devin Haney, and this is why he's pursuing this fight with Sean O'Malley. He also doubled down on taking on Sean O'Malley in an MMA fight on the Ariel Helwani show, where we would again see his puffy face, his erratic behavior, and we would hear again his raspy voice. Back to the Devin Haney fight, one press conference he came in on a horse for some reason, and it was the least grand entrance I've ever seen. It was in the back of some LA studio or stadium or whatever, so all you can see is this majestic white horse being paraded in the back of some LA building, with people awkwardly trying to get a picture and some lady screaming to back up. Then he got carried by two guys into the stadium. It was seriously the most cringe and awkward entrance I've ever seen for a press conference of all things, and this was just the beginning. The real show would start in the press conference itself, and immediately we would hear Ryan's new raspy, obviously been partying the night before voice. And Devin Haney would pick up on this new voice quick, suggesting that Coca-Cola was messing up his voice. This would later lead to Ryan vehemently denying he drinks Coca-Cola, later calling out for someone in the crowd who knows him to confirm he doesn't go near the snow, and then calling out to some heckler he doesn't know, wanting to beat him up. Overall, it was a weird showing from Ryan, and his demeanor has done a complete 180 from his Jesus-loving kid-like voice and behavior we would often see in interviews and press conferences. Which brings us to today. He continues to post erratically and crazily on social media. You have a lot of people concerned with his mental well-being, and no one seems to know when this transition to Kanye West really started. But what I do know is that the aforementioned Sean O'Malley is fighting this Saturday, and you can get in on the action. New customers can get a no-sweat bet up to $1,000 if your first bet loses. Right now, with a minimum deposit of $5, new customers get a no-sweat bet. If your first bet loses, get a bonus bet back in the amount of your original bet, up to $1,000. And in true Kanye fashion, most recently in a TMZ video, Ryan claims he's been locked out of his phone, his Instagram and social media, and his credit cards. So when looking at the reasons as to why these things are happening with Ryan Garcia, I see two cases. Let's start out with the best naive case for Ryan Garcia, and that's just he's trolling. Look, these antics are pretty crazy, but you can't lie. He's selling the hell out of this fight with Devin Haney, and it's been pretty entertaining. It was going to be a good fight regardless. The two have fought several times in the past in the amateurs, and with their careers both skyrocketing, they were bound to fight when they were pro. And as good as Devin Haney is, he doesn't really sell with the casuals since he has a boring style and personality. So with Ryan Garcia being the A side on this one and adding on the crazy side too, he's getting a lot of casuals interested in this fight as well. Maybe he's leaning into the drunk, high, villain-like persona because it's proven to sell and he's getting a lot of attention doing it. So some of the evidence I've found for Ryan Garcia trolling is that one, his father has come out and said that this crazy, erratic behavior is caused by, quote, trolling the wrong way. And Ryan Garcia himself said in a David Goggins-like video as he was running that 99% of the things he's doing is trolling.
Look, guys, I understand that everybody's concerned, but at the end of the day, I gotta address some things. 99% of what I'm doing is trolling. I'm running, 8 miles? Right now, it's 6 in the morning. Like, you don't have a six-pack if you're drinking every day and smoking.
Now, the irony of this video is that I don't really hear the sincerity out of his voice. It seems like he's trolling about trolling and trying to save face for something much worse. He does say that if he was partying and drinking all the time, he wouldn't have a six-pack, but his face and his voice say otherwise. But anyways, for additional evidence or reasoning for maybe why he would be trolling, I would imagine if you had a mental breakdown like this, it would be right after your first major loss where you quit in front of millions of people instead of after a win and right before another big fight. Again, this isn't the strongest evidence that I've presented, but there's always going to be that small likelihood that Ryan is just trolling to bring attention to this fight. And you might think I'm trolling, but I got to bring up this amazing offer from DraftKings again. This video is brought to you by our partners, DraftKings Sportsbook. Wondering what the DraftKings Sportsbook app offers? Check out DraftKings Parlays, Same Game Parlays, and SGPXs. Combine multiple bets together from the same game for a shot at an even bigger payout. Download the DraftKings app now. That's promo code TJLovesFights. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours. Now again, that's the nice and naive answer, but more realistically, we have to ask, what if Ryan Garcia isn't trolling? What if this is truly the new Ryan Garcia? Why did he devolve into this state? The one thing Ryan said that actually made sense in this press conference was when he said, "The weight of the world sometimes feels like it's on my shoulders. I don't know how many people have been 25 years old and made $100 million in their life. I want to see what you would do in my shoes. Probably a lot more than some weed." I think that quote practically summed up exactly what's going on here. Ryan Garcia is 25 years old, which is mind-boggling to me personally because I'm only 2 years younger than him. He's been pushed to be the face of a sport. He has model women all around him, and according to him, he has made $100 million at the age of 25. I couldn't imagine the amount of fame, fortune, and females at that age. To be honest, if I were in his shoes, I would probably wild out too. Take ski trips with models to the top if you catch my drift. For those who have watched Entourage, Ryan is literally Vince, and right now we're watching season 7. He's the pretty boy that came from nothing and got way too much, way too quickly, and is now crashing mentally. We've seen this story before, played out in this very sport. A young phenom that's surrounded by the wrong people, wrong promoters, and of course the wrong substances. I say this with every one of these downfall or negative videos about people in this sport, but I truly hope Ryan is either trolling or gets the help he needs. Say what you want about Ryan, but he's really the one making the fights people want to see, and I think opened the floodgates to the fights everyone wants to see in boxing. He compromised a lot to make the Tank fight possible and is now fighting Devin Haney. He could have easily continued to fight easier opponents, padded his record, and sold purely through his name and image, but is actively seeking tough fights which everyone should respect. So deep down, for real, I hope whatever Ryan is going through, he gets through it and is going to go back to fighting, because it's always sad to see the crash and burn of a young man who was given everything too quickly. And I think the sad part is we'll see this time and time again. Time is truly a flat circle. So what do you guys think? Is Ryan Garcia going through it and completely did a 180 on his personality, or is he simply just trolling to bring attention to this fight? Any which way, I hope Ryan's okay, like I said before. And again, thank you for supporting this channel. Peace.